but hi. How are you? I'm trying a new setting with my ring light. The ring light, you can't see it. I'll let you see it. One sec. It goes rainbow. And it makes me look like I'm dying. One sec, let me change that. There we go. What's up, Besmertnov? Hope everyone's been well. I've been invoking the 7 kings of the Xen lately. So far, I've only invoked 3 of the 7. It's been interesting. Hello there, Fluxetine Queen. Fluxetine Queen. Great to have you. This is just a random live. I'm just hanging out with y'all. Y'all have any questions about occultism, feel free to ask me. I'll answer if I know the answer. Also, I got this for free at a local gas station tonight. No clue what it is. Apparently it contains Piper meth. No, methisticum. Methisticum. No clue what that is, by the way. God, that's disgusting. I think that's the worst thing I've tasted all year. Let's see what it does. So, that's why it was free, lol. Yeah, probably. So, the 7 kings of the Xen are different from the Shayateen. They aren't really infernal, as I would call them. I can still taste that. It's so gross. Anyways, but, the 7 kings of the Xen are attributed to the 7 alchemical planets, just like the Goetic demons. But they aren't Ifrit, they aren't infernal, they aren't Shayateen. Except, I think, for Barkhan. Barkhan is the Xen king attributed to Mercury. I think he's some type of Xen infernal hybrid, like Azazel. But I've only been possessed by him once, so I don't know for sure. But that was the darkest of the Xen kings that I've summoned thus far. Hey Samael, hey Michelle, great to have y'all here. What do you hope to attain by doing this? I want to be more powerful, magically, and also I want to learn about the Xen kings. The Xen king of Mercury was telling me that he can really help with... He can breathe life into pre-existent financial endeavors, and he can help you get famous, like bring you glory, renown, that type of shit. The Xen King of Saturn was telling me that he could give you a kind of protection that keeps your enemies, rivals, etc. unaware of what you're doing, which is cool. And it makes sense because Saturn is the planet of concealment. But yeah, actually, that thing was so gross, I'm gonna get water. One sec. I have to wash this down desperately, man. It's terrible. Samael, I've actually never heard of the 3 Xenic elders. That's a first for me. That is the grossest shit ever. So are the 3 Xenic elders, are they from a book, or are they something you discovered on your own? Is there, like, information? Because I've only read 4 books about Jinn magic. I basically channeled most of what I do with Jinn myself, but some books were, like, helpful in building my approach to those spirits. The only good book I've ever read about Jinn was The Black Path from Martinet Press. Hey, Star Ruby. Thus far, I've invoked Alamar, Barkhan, shoot. I forgot the Saturnian one's name. But those are the ones I've invoked. Have I ever worked with Vlad the Impaler? No. But I've seen him, his spirit at least, and I've spoken to him. He was a Moloch devotee in life. In the same way that Cain kind of made himself a miniature version of Baal, Dracula made himself a miniature version of Moloch. He's a hard spirit to approach because he wants you to kneel and avert eye contact and call him Lord Dracula when he's around, unless he gives you permission to speak to him as an equal. He's kind of strict like that. Cathexis says they remember J.S. Garrett talking about Vlad. Fun fact about Vlad, by the way. At one point, he had a general named Stephen Bathory, and that general, Stephen Bathory, he was Elizabeth Bathory's great uncle. So those families have been connected for a while. That's not Gnosis. You can look that up easily. You feel like your curses and spells are not working and you don't know what to do. Do I have any suggestions? Kind of hard to advise because you haven't told me what you're trying to accomplish or manifest, and you haven't told me how you did it. So, either A, you need to try a new approach, B, you need to be in a better mental state, or C, you need to try something new. You're asking about my ring. So there's a wolf, and around the wolf are all the Norse runes, like it's the entire Norse alphabet. Supposedly, having all the runes on a piece of jewelry is a really, really potent form of spiritual protection. This one is basically a Baphomet from Salem, handmade. Oh, Besmertov just did a ritual with Elizabeth Bathory. How'd it go? Bathory I've never summoned or spoken to. Samael said that the ghouls teach vampirism and necromancy. Ifrit teach advanced curses and the forbidden nature magic. And the Marit teach channeling and black light. I've never summoned the Marit. I've only summoned the Infernal Xen, 3 of the Xen Kings, and the Shaitanic Undead. Do I have any tips on connecting with human spirits? Yeah, actually. So human spirits, there's very much a big difference between summoning an ascended master and using necromancy to summon the dead. Ghosts and ascended masters are different. Ghosts are actually harder to work with for a few reasons. When you summon like one dead person, the other dead hear your call and they want to answer it. They long for human company. So this makes necromancy more dangerous than working with ascended masters, because if you're using necromancy, you're liable to attract things that you don't want to have around unless you take precautions. Hello, Omar. The Xen King of the Sun, Al-Mathib. Wait, shit, chat moved. The Xen King of the Sun, Al-Mathib, is fantastic. You will love him. I can't wait to meet him. Eventually, I'm going to do a little YouTube video just sharing my experiences and my gnosis with those spirits. Has anyone here also summoned Barkhan, the Xen King of Mercury? Because I'm pretty sure he's partially Klepothic, which is... It was a surprise for me, but if anyone can verify that, I'd love to hear your opinion. Samael Fromstein says, are the Xen connected to the Temple of Mothram on top of Picos Mountain? I don't know. I don't know what that temple is. The mighty beard, yes. And it's very unkempt lately. It's been very floofy, which has been annoying me. I fix it like every 5 seconds and it improves nothing. Yeah. His name is Barkhan. Barqan. Thank you, Omar. Outside of that, in my personal practice, stuff I'm not doing for clients, I've also been working with Sumerian magic. I need to learn more about Anu. I channeled like a small piece of gnosis about him from Marduk. I feel like I have no calling to him. I have no intention of working with him, but I feel like I should know more about who he is and what he represents. Thank you, Tindril. I will check my email soon. Depending on how bad the meth fucks me up. To be clear, I'm not actually on meth. I drank a very gross gas station supplement that contains methyscum. Yeah, it's usually best not to tell anybody the name of your higher self, personal metagod. That's shit you keep private. Think about it like your social security number, right? Like, I could probably trust, say, J.S. Garrett or my barber, who I'm close with. I could probably trust them with my social security number without them doing anything fucked up with it. But there's still no reason to give them my social security number. Your true name is the same way. Why do you think some people feel only connected to a particular entity type? It's basically energetic resonance. So, if you, let's say for example, maybe your birth chart is primarily dominated by fire signs, you would have the best results from spirits attributed to fire because y'all are similar. They'll be easier for you to see, hear, whatever. If you're very masculine and you aren't in touch with your femininity, that can make female spirits harder to summon than male spirits. There's a lot of stuff that goes like that. Hello there, the In-Between Emporium. Cool name. Have I ever worked with Lilith? Yes. She's one of my favorite demons, actually. The Temple of Mathrim is linked to the ancient school of Sodom. It's also the hidden word of the Black Lodge and a place on top of Pico's mountain. Interesting. I'm going to screenshot your comments so I don't forget to Google that later. Hello there, Behemoth X. Behemoth X says, are there any pedos in the chat? Not that I know of. I certainly hope not. I hope the pedophile who was taking shots at you pops in just to be a dick. That'd be funny as fuck. Cathexis, I've heard that bad things are coming the pedophile's way. Why? Wait, I didn't think about that. Like, he's a child molester. Why would you single out people who curse child molesters and go, hi, by the way, I am a child molester? Like, at a certain point, it's basically assisted suicide. Hello there, Witch War? Can a practitioner have more than one pair of true parents? Not entirely sure. I know it can be more than two. I know it can be less than two, but I don't know how many you can have. There's a reason I don't sell spiritual parent identification services. There's probably way more nuance to that shit than I could reliably cover. Yeah, Cheese God, I know you. Do you think it's okay to... Yes, Cheese God, that would work fine. You can just write their name down and swipe blood on that. That works. Oh, wait. Is Witch War 2 the pedophile? Wait, he's actually here. Holy shit. Former one. We don't care whether you're former or current. We all hate you. There's no forgiveness for that type of behavior. Would I ever travel to Mexico? I have no plans to go there. I don't see any reason to at the moment. Hello there, Dark Life. Love your username. Hello there, Sovereign Flame, and hello, Michelle. Sigma God said that the rites of Astaroth and Astarte is ridiculously potent. Good. I channeled that for beginners to try and help them advance quicker than they usually would. I'm glad you got good results. I have never been to Transylvania. Would love to go. I want to do a ritual in Dracula's castle. That'd be awesome as fuck. You can feel the eyes of Satan staring at you, I hope. I hope so too. Lena says that she tried a lot of my rituals and all of them worked. Glad to hear it. Damn, we have 38 current viewers. That's a lot. But yeah, any questions about occultism are welcome. If I don't have the answer that you're looking for, I'll just tell you I don't know. Also, take me with a grain of salt. As you should with everyone. Samael says that he tried one of the rites in the works of Infernal Ascent and didn't feel anything afterwards or during the ritual. Yeah, I would recommend trying again. I don't know how often you meditate on your chakras, but that can really help you pick up on spiritual presences. That's a big, big component of how much you succeed. This is my first time having a known pedophile in the chat. This is fun. Any rituals for newcomers? Oh yeah. Yeah, if you go to my website, click the menu, and then hit the For Those New to Satanism button. I've got like a lot of different rituals for beginners. Cheese God says he's been spamming my self-empowerment rituals nightly, and he's been feeling great. Glad to hear it. Witch War 2 is currently self-immolating live on air. Should all vampiric practitioners blacken their chakras? Not necessarily. Blackening your chakras is cool. It's useful, but it's not necessary. It's one option of spiritual attainment that you have. You can blacken them if you want to, or you can do other cool shit instead. Witch War says he's on fire. Cool. Are there any consequences for unifying all the chakras? Not really. It's pretty advantageous. The only issue I've run into is like other practitioners will try to send me energy and they'll be trying to aim for a specific chakra, and I don't have chakras. So the energy will just be floating in the air, and then I have to pull it in myself. Can I talk about Noctulius? Yeah. So he originated from Bavarian paganism. He was a god of night. He's very much known for vampirism. He's attributed to the moon. He's very interesting. He very much is a demon. He's got a lot of different spirits that follow him. Yes, I'm definitely on Methisticum. I don't know what Methisticum is, but I got it for free at a gas station. That's what I'm on. In case you wonder, it was exactly as gross as I said. I am not playing it up for amusement purposes. I am in suffering currently. In regards to anointing statues, do you do it? And if you do, what benefits have you got from doing it? What do you mean by anointing? So when I get like an idol for a spirit, what I'll do is I'll perform a ritual to like summon them into it and make it theirs. If that's what you mean by anointing, I recommend it strongly. Um, for people who struggle to see spirits with their own two eyes, idolatry can be super helpful because during ritual, the idols just make them easier to see. It'll look like the idol might be moving or even shape-shifting, even though it's not doing that physically. It'll look like it's doing it physically. There was at my old place back when I was living with my former roommate, we had one chick kind of asked to hang out with us on the night that we were doing a ritual. So there was an idol of Chavajoth just sitting on the floor. She was like, "Yo, am I just drunk? Or did the eyes glow on that statue?" I'm like, "Well, the eyes do not glow. Also, alcohol does not cause visual hallucinations." Then later in the night, she asked again, like, "Yo, am I just drunk? Or, like, does it have more heads than I think?" Because she was seeing more heads than the statue actually had. It was the idol presenting itself. It was the spirit presenting itself to her through the idol. I don't do much dream work, so I can't really advise you there, JD. Would I construct a planar gate? I wouldn't, because... So, it's kind of common for people to work with both angels and demons, but working with Mayari spirits and angels, that's very rare. And there's a reason for that. Those energies do not mix well at all. In other words, if I had a planar gate set up here and I summoned an angel, I would not have a positive experience. I'd basically have to never do angel magic in this place if I had a planar gate here. Sigma God is called Didystophiles. His name is Didystophiles now. Everyone has to call him that forever. That's funny as shit. Venom Suds says that he did a ritual he created called Agios o Budsturga, and he felt a tall, masculine entity standing over him. Interesting. I saw Budsturga in her female aspect. I wouldn't be surprised if she had a male aspect too. She's a very unique being. Like, that energy felt weird. It was really disorienting. It was even more disorienting than whatever Mxth is. Witch War 2 says that he's been in more Witch Wars than I have. Lena says... Can I talk about what Mayari magic is? Yes. So, there are basically 4 types of infernal magic, in my opinion. One is the demons, you know, Satan, the Qliphoth, the Goetia. 2 is Ahriman and the spirits that serve him. 3rd is Shaitan and the infernal Xen. 4 is Mayari. Now, the spirits of Mayari, they are infernal, but they are not satanic. They're a different species. They've got different leaders. They've got different realms that they rule. So there's basically 14 types of Mayari magic that we know of. One of them is a secret. You basically can't learn that without joining the group, but I can tell you that it works with Cthulhu, Azathoth, those guys. The other 13 are publicly accessible. There are some entities in Mayari magic that you've probably heard of, such as Apophis and Cernobog. Also, the Dark Elves from Norse mythology. They're in Mayari as well, but in Mayari magic, we call them the Dralith. It is more dangerous than working with the demons that we usually summon. Samael says, how do you enchant something like a tarot deck or dowsing rods? So what you could do is you could take a little Sharpie and a piece of paper, and you could draw a sigil of a demon that rules divination. Then you could just put the tarot cards, the tarot deck, or the dowsing rods on top of that sigil, and then you can just vibrate the name of the spirit. Let's say, hypothetically, you're summoning Aslan to enchant the thing. I like to vibrate the name. So what you do is you inhale. Do that like 9 times or 11 times. Choose a number that is related to demons or sacred to the spirit and the specific spirit. Sometimes I like to burn offerings of incense to the spirit I'm calling on, and I'll like hold whatever I'm enchanting over the incense so that the smoke touches it. Samael Fromstein said his dad had past life experiences and would like to know from when. Triton. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. Behemoth X says he has friends in St. Clair Shores. How's the weather down there? Oh. Uh-oh. Should you drip your blood on tarot cards as an offering? I wouldn't. I don't know what that would do, but I've never tried it, so I can't recommend it. Hello, Ignis. I think I'm going to ban the pedophile. He's not as entertaining as I thought he would be. Would I say that Mayari and celestial angelic beef is like spirit politics? How is it presented in the literature? In the videos and literature from the Temple of Mayari, angels are presented as direct opponents to Mayari. Personally, I don't really involve myself in beefs between different deities. Some people do, but that's not part of my path. Those of you who are, really, really specifically connected to specific spirits might want to pick sides. Sovereign Flame says that they feel called to Mayari currents and has been told by another practitioner that I should, but I don't know where to authentically start. So, all the books about Mayari magic are out of print. So you have to find the PDFs, and they are easy to find. You can just use Google. And again, the books are out of print, so you wouldn't be stealing by downloading those PDFs. I'd recommend starting with The Black Path by Somnus Dreadwood and The Left Hand by Somnus Dreadwood. I pretty much like all of his books, but those are the first two I would recommend. I'd recommend starting with the Black Scriptures. The Firebred Virgin says that Thailand's infernal magic is something else. Interesting. I don't know anything about Thai spirituality. Aslan is indeed underrated. Where do I get the all-purpose whispers to start with Mayari? That's in The Left Hand by Somnus Dreadwood. You don't really initiate into the current, by the way. You just start working with them. There's no formal initiation ritual in that tradition. Like, dead ass, just read the books, see which spell you think you want to do, whichever one you need, and you just start there. That's what your initiation is. Cathexis says the pedo is into self-harm for some reason. Yes, clearly. Venom Sub says pedo delito. Judas Blackwood, cool name, says that on June 24th he completed the entirety of my Citra Akra initiations, ending with the Forgotten Cruel gaps. Hell yeah, congratulations, man. How'd it feel? Like, before I even approached the gaps or the tunnels, after I got through Thamael, I felt, I don't know, everything felt complete and whole. It was hard to, it's hard to put into words, but there was this very strong sensation of completeness and peace. Are the Fae of Aradia like the Fae in Mayari? No. I'm pretty sure those are different. So the Mayari Fae, to my understanding, are the Dralith. They're a type of Fae, according to Razarith. Cheese God says, I know you're a former O9A affiliate, but all the O9A people he's seen have been a bunch of edgy tryhards. Yes. Yes. The O9A is for bitches. I don't like the person I was back when I was involved with the O9A. Like, I was an edgy tryhard too. Dark Life says, why do you say people shouldn't cast love spells? So there's two types of love spells. A real love spell is a spell consensually casted with a partner you're already dating to enhance the love that you'll already have. That's good. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But most people who do love spells are trying to force someone to date them through magical means. This is A, a violation of consent, and B, the love you would be creating isn't real. Real love comes from a person, not a spell you put on a person. A real internal affection. If you try to put a spell on somebody to force them to love you, then what you are doing is you are imposing fake emotions onto them. So their real feelings and the feelings you've created will clash. So they might, they might be a type of person who will never leave you, but they're always mad at you. They don't like you, but they can't leave. That's kind of what that happens. But yes, if you brought up my essay about Astrina. If I'm covering a spirit that specializes in love spells, I will list that as part of the essay. I'll include that, even though I don't think you should do it. I've also, for example, when I wrote about Amdusius, I mentioned that he specializes in torture magic. I've never tried torture magic. I have no interest in it. I just try to put as much information as I can. Yes, Robert, you can easily find the PDFs of Mayari literature. Last I checked, they were out of print, so downloading the PDFs online for free is the only way to get that literature. Yeah, it would be cool to... It would be awesome if there was a Nocturnus Tower Grimoire. I agree. How are Azathoth and Atazoth the same? How are they different? So they are the same. The O9A's information about Atazoth / Azathoth, all of it is stolen from Kenneth Grant's writings about Azathoth. It's straight up plagiarized. They use a different version of the name, but it is the same entity. And of course, they learned about it from Kenneth Grant. And they talk shit about Kenneth Grant and give him no credit for the work that they plagiarized. Banshees are a type of fae. Does Aradia have power over them? No. Aradia does not have power over the fae. I actually learned that live. But banshees are pure evil. So, I mean pure evil. Pure. Like Wendigos. It's possible to work with some of them in a transactional way, but they are evil. So make sure you're careful with banshees. You want to call up, like, let's say, call up Hecate or Aradia or Satan and say, hey, I want to summon banshees. Make sure the only ones that can get in here are ones that are willing to have a transactional relationship with me. Otherwise, you might get hurt. Hey, Sean. Judas Blackwood says that after completing the Cliff-Off, he feels whole and complete and more alive than ever before. He says it's an unexplainable peace and tranquility, as well as deep empowerment. More than you can put into words. Yes, that is correct. I'm glad you made it all the way through. Yeah, I've heard the Mayari Discord is a shit show. I've heard the same about the Mayari Reddit, but I'm not really active on Reddit or Discord ever. So I'm just taking other people's word for it. Sean Berg says that love magic to force love is not love. I agree. Michelle says that self-love working with Aphrodite is good. I bet. I should try that. I'm not sure if I've I don't think I've ever done a self-love spell. Yeah, I should try that. Lena says that he put a love spell on someone years ago and he went crazy. I removed it quick as fuck. Good call. Good call. Yeah. I don't remember how Aslan or Estrina looked. It's been a while. Have I ever seen telekinesis myself? Yes, just once. So, I'll paint the scene for you. A few years ago, I'm driving. It's pouring rain. At the time, I forgot how it works, but my car insurance was out. So if I had crashed into anything, I would have had to pay for it all out of pocket. So I'm driving in heavy rain, and I've got a fellow practitioner riding shotgun. Just me and him. I started hydroplaning. I was about to slam into the back of a parked car. Not parked, but stopped. I was about to slam into the back of this other vehicle. I was slamming on the brakes, trying to make the car stop, but the guy next to me, he just goes, and then my car completely stopped moving. The wheels didn't screech. It was like there was no momentum, like all momentum had stopped. Like the car was just still. The wheels didn't screech at all. It was crazy, but I've only seen that once. I've never done it myself. Tony Balgona says, by the way, if you've made a discovery worth talking about magically, how okay? I tend not to give people free advice about magic one-on-one. So if you want free advice, you basically have to come to the lives and ask your questions here. Can you work with Santa Muerte to heal the dead and help them move on? Yes. Ignis says that Beleth taught him a lot about self-love. That's awesome. Sean says that the Mayari Reddit and Discord seem to be adminned by the same guy. Could be. I have no idea. I've never had interactions with that person. I just know he talks a lot of shit about me. Geoffrey says that he noticed that he can't take a vacation from the occult left-hand path, and it's pulling ever harder. Seems like watching practitioners on YouTube satisfies the pull. Yeah, some people are just drawn to magic like a fucking magnet. I'm that way. I got into magic at 16, and it's been my main obsession ever since. Anyways, I'm going to close it out here. Thank you all very much for coming. All of y'all have a great night and enjoy your immortality.